Zoos should not be banned because they are critical for conservation, economically necessary, and educationally beneficial. According to Derek Letard, in addition, zoos work really hard to save animals that are threatened in the wild. Zoos can take at-risk animals, breed them in captivity, and then reintroduce them back into the wild. This effectively shows why zoos are necessary for conservation efforts and gives a step-by-step explanation on specifically how they save them.
As stated by ProCorner headlines, zoos are also working to save polar bears, tigers, and wild African elephants from habitat loss, apes and rhinos from poachers, dolphins and whales from hunters, and bees and butterflies from population declines, among many other efforts to help many other animals. This shows that zoos are actively engaged in the conservation of animals and the animals that they are working to save.
According to how zoos can save our animals, today many zoos promote the protection of biodiversity as a significant part of their mission. This explains that a big part of zoos' mission is the promotion of the protection of biodiversity.
Others think that captive animals would be better off living in the wild. However, this is not true as they are exposed to many more dangers, as Ward Samantha states. In an ideal world, Harambe would live peacefully in Central Africa. There would be no deforestation, no poachers, and no diseases transmitted by humans and our livestock. This shows that getting rid of zoos would be detrimental to conservation and the environment. This moves into our second point: zoos are economically necessary. Zoos and aquariums around the country generate significant economic benefits locally, regionally, and nationally, according to a new analysis conducted by the nationally recognized economic Dr. Stephen Fuller. This quote shows that zoos and aquariums are both beneficial to the economy locally, regionally, and nationally.
From Disadvantages of Zoos, a report out of a George Mason University found that zoos associated with the Association of Zoos and Aquariums employed almost 40,000 people. Zoos have created jobs for thousands of people, thus benefiting the economy tremendously.
Here are some facts from the article, Zoos and Aquariums Contribute $16 billion to the Economy, that are clearly presented and easy to see why zoos are necessary. $16 billion contributed in economic activity, $4.7 billion in personal earnings, and 142,000 jobs in the economy.
You could say that there are other ways to raise money besides zoos, but the point of zoos is to watch animals in person physically. Without the physical existence of zoos, people will not contribute money to the economy. According to Jim Maddy, President and CEO of AZA, zoos and aquariums are important economic engines. Zoos are not only economically beneficial, but as our third point shows, they are also educationally beneficial. According to a study of 26 zoos worldwide published in Conservation Biology, visitors to zoos increase their knowledge of biodiversity and specific individual actions to protect biodiversity. These studies show that zoos directly increase the public's knowledge of biodiversity and how they can protect biodiversity as individuals.
A quote from Letard Derek says that zoos also contribute to scientific research. This is especially relevant and necessary for zoos to support research for professionals to better understand how animals and the environments they live in work and how to conserve them.
According to ProCon.org headlines, 228 accredited zoos published 5,175 peer-reviewed manuscripts between 1993 and 2013. In 2017, 173 accredited U.S. zoos spent $25 million on research, studied 485 species and subspecies of animals, worked on 1,280 research projects, and published 170 research manuscripts. Zoos use their time and money to research and study various species, to learn about animals, and educate the public about animals.
While our opponent says that zoos are unnecessary because the public could just educate themselves by using the internet, this is not true, as the internet does not provide a physical learning experience for the public or the professionals, as it is necessary for them to research with real animals in real time. As a quote from KCAT Education, zoo animals are sort of like ambassadors for their counterparts in the wild. Zoos also contribute to scientific research.
It is clear that zoos should not be banned because they are critical for conservation, economically necessary, and educationally beneficial.